But just as Miko insisted that he met the airline's CEO when he won the computer network, he convinced me that we just need to take it to the top, to the heads of governments. Simply as that. Sounds nice. Sure. The governments certainly can afford it. Let's just present it to the leaders, and then we'll make it happen to the people. Let's see. We're talking about changing phone systems and communication culture and threatening the economy, control, and money-making of the country's largest companies. And if no one would try to put any obstacles in our way, and we're not just talking about political obstacles. You see, in order to even use a cell phone to call here, we would need the cooperation of the existing phone company. Simple. Just think. We would then go to them. Good idea. Will you please make you less profitable, smaller, or maybe even obsolete? See what I mean when I say the most stupid, absurd, and ridiculous idea? Oh yeah, there was another minor problem, or maybe a few more minor problems. Miko and I didn't have any cell phones. We didn't even have any contract to distribute cell phones. And we didn't have a contract with any supplier. And we had no right to use the airwaves. And we had no money, no financing. And we had no experience in the business. Nor did we know anybody in the business. So we had two things in our favor, as the MasterCard commercial says. One magazine article, $3. One cell phone, $3,000. One dream by Miko, priceless. We also learned to live by another saying, nothing is easy. So we started looking for a cell phone vendor and went to Japan to meet the monster electronic giant NEC. We didn't leave with any cell phones or systems, but we didn't have a lot of laughs. You see, the entire visit, Miko was dressed in an abacus, the traditional suit for all Zairians. Well, Miko had a large personality. He had large ideas. But we all learn as we don't get any younger, it's not good to be large at everything. So I finally had one over him. If I could make him laugh, a button of his abacus would really pop open. Of course, I was relentless, trying to make him laugh when it would be most embarrassing. And so in the end, what do you have from the trip? Two businessmen in a non-existent business, going halfway around the world to see if one of us could make the other laugh. I doubt this is a successful model for your MBA or even getting out of 7th grade. But it was back then. Because we learned how to make ourselves better as a team, the whole did become better than the sum of the parts. Even if these were only 2 parts. When we left Japan poorer and rather unsuccessful, that trip only steeled Miko's resolve. We headed for the United States. Now, what do you do when you can't find a cell phone to demonstrate to a major government leader? Where do you go? You go to the only place that makes sense. You go to a car rental agency. That's what we did. We went to National Car Rental because they rented phones as an option when renting a car. True story. After the rental people checked with the local assailant to make sure there were not reported cases outside of the they rented us 10 phones. Now, to make this happen, we did what I came to learn was the only way Miko ever did things. Went to the top, to the president, from National Car Rental. When he agreed to rent us 10 phones, we overheard his assistant saying, "Why are you doing this?" And he told her, "Because I'm tired of all my country club friends telling unbelievable stories of what happened to them, and this one will top them all." We took those phones and began applying and implementing our most important principle of technology. Something all of the engineers and other scientists here, if you don't already know, you will definitely learn. What we did, we kept our fingers crossed. The old age scientific trick, guaranteed at least to not make anything worse. So first we kept our fingers crossed, trying to get in to see President Mobutu. Now over the years, the President and I became good friends, and he was attending a convention in the States. We got the audience to see him in Washington, based again on that most important and serious principle, friendship. Then came the defining moment. When we showed him the cell phone, he said, "His children already have walkie-talkies." So we persuaded him that those phones were different and deserved his attention. We uncrossed our fingers for nearly maybe 3 seconds, only to hand him the phone and urge him to call home, literally, to call his family at the palace 6,500 miles away. The call went through. It was kind of amusing. Call because Mobutu was the caller, but the phone was answered. He sounded like he was questioning why somebody would call him. "Hello, hello, hello." How did we know that he had reached his family? Well, because we overheard him saying, "Tell me again, what you need the money for?" So Miko and I figured we did it. Smooth sailing from here on. Well, not quite. Actually, now Miko and I really began to sweat, because President Mobutu apparently was a quick learner. He wanted to talk and talk and talk. After he got off the phone with the family, he wanted to call his minister. We used a little bit of foresight in this by putting key government numbers into speed dial. Now the good news. He was really impressed. The bad news, he kept calling and dialing and calling and dialing. It occurred to me that maybe we should hand him a bill. Probably a little bit early in our business relationship. So we left that meeting with a handshake, another business tool that is good, and only as good as the word of the owner of the hand. Was as good as gold? No, it was gold. The handshake said to us, "You have the Zairean government franchise. Make this work for the government, and we'll help make it work for the people." So now our new business was starting to get real, which was pretty interesting, since it was unlikely we could go back to National Car Rental and ask them, "Do you mind renting a few thousand phones permanently? You can keep the cars. We don't need them. Maybe adding 100,000 phones to your inventory, and we need them for Africa." Lots of laughs.